Hey, G, we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Finally back.
In red.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I am your host, TowManG, and as usual, I am joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the man with very strong opinions himself, Mr. PlainGuy.
I resemble that remark, G.
What do you mean?
My opinions are very reasonable. I am insulted that you think that they are strong. I think they are moderate.
Well, you are a very opinionated person, my friend. It's very hard to change your opinion once you've got it set in your mind.
That is true. That is true. And most of the opinions you give me are wrong, so that's why I tend to be very strong about mine. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It has been a bit of a break. It has been way too long. As TowManG mentioned, we are back after the holidays. It has been a great Christmas, New Year's. I hope you guys got to spend plenty of time with your families. I know we did. I know I did. I don't know about you, G. We'll go over that in a little bit. Before we do, though, guys, don't forget, if you have any subjects, questions, or comments for the show, you can call us at 249-666-2209. You can leave a message. There's an automated system. You press 1 to leave a message. We'll try and play it on the air on the show. You can email us at thetowinglife@gmail.com or by searching at the Towing Life Podcast on Facebook or visiting the website, www.towinglife.ca. You will find on the Facebook, we still got the weekend warriors going, the light duties, the heavy duties. The pictures you guys keep sending in every week, there's a nicer and nicer and nicer truck. We want to get into maybe some recovery photos in the near future. We got a couple new things coming to you guys for the new year. I'm not a big fan of this new year, new me bullshit, but
no, fuck that. I'm the same asshole as I was last year. Just deal with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm the same guy in the same truck. So, but yeah, absolutely, guys, reach out to us. We always appreciate it. And yeah, sorry for the week off. We needed it. We wanted to spend some time with our family.
I'm not sorry.
What's
I'm
that?
not sorry. I'm not sorry for a week off.
You're not
Everyone
sorry?
deserves at least some time off.
It is towing, sir. We do not take holidays in towing. I don't know what you're talking about. Why should it be any different in the podcast world?
I guess. I mean, I'm on call right now. I got a tow truck parked outside on what's normally my night off. So if I got to run and the rest of this podcast gets filmed behind the wheel of a tow truck, you'll know why.
If all of a sudden you hear the audio cut, what we will do if G has to leave on a call is either I will finish this episode on my own.
Whoa.
Or yeah, we're going to have the PlainGuy monologues. Or, yeah, we'll do it, like I said, from the truck and hope your reception is well enough and hear you cursing at traffic along the way. And
wouldn't that be fun?
Oh,
we should do an episode where we're both behind the wheel of a tow truck at that time.
It adds a certain level of distracted driving. I understand that it is just talking on the phone. It is fully legal. Yep. But no, it's definitely not something that we want to... we will do if we have to do, but we aren't going to do unless we need to.
So how was your holiday, PlainGuy?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. You know, obviously, we're still living in, especially where we are in Ontario, the weird COVID and everything else is going on, restrictions and limits and all that kind of stuff. Grandparents are worried about coming over and all that good stuff. But for the most part, we got to get together with family. We got to ate way too much, you know. that tradition in the holidays definitely hasn't died. Had too many desserts. Had too much turkey and roast beef and everything that we could fit in. Had a couple soda pops.
A couple wobbly pops.
You know, got to enjoy some time off, so it was great. Got to have a dinner with the work crew. We had a little dinner catered. We brought it right to the shop. So it was good. Got to sit down with everybody, have a nice dinner. You know, it was still shop talk. You know, we're in a shop. We're all towers. It's going to be shop talk. But we definitely had some good stories, some funny laughs. You know, we got a new truck in the fleet coming, so it was a good chance to play with some stuff around the shop. Guys were checking it out, playing with things. It was a good time. So, what about you?
That's awesome. I work related. I got put into a nicer truck finally, and it's a wrecker, so I'm happy there. On the home front, holidays went about as good as they can when you're sick. I've been sick on and off for like last month and a half, which is just great. Pretty sure I got strep throat, or at least I did. I'm kind of weaning myself off of that now with a bunch of cough candies and vitamin C's and just popping back the ibuprofen to try to get the swelling down because apparently my doctor's booked up for like 2 weeks before I can get in and see him. So that's great. Everything else has went pretty good. Got to spend some time with the family, with the girlfriend. My girlfriend did some shopping for me before Christmas, and I gave her a list and a snow brush, like one of the nice long extendable ones
with
a
the swivel
90.
head on it.
Yeah. So you can just push right across the roof of your truck.
Yep.
That was at the top of my list. So I knew she was going to get me one, but we went to Costco the one day. She dragged me out to Costco. I hate shopping. And right at the door, there was a nice big rack of snow brushes. I was like, ooh, I like that one. I picked it up and she yelled at me to put it back down. And right then and there, I knew. I was like, you got me a snow brush. So then when she brought the gifts over to my house here, there was this long, weirdly wrapped cylinder-looking thing with a snow brush head sticking out of it. I was like, "Oh, I wonder what that could be." She's like, "Well, I'm gonna be surprised if it makes it till Christmas and it not be opened."
Right.
Thankfully enough, we didn't have quite as much snow as what we were hoping for, so it stayed wrapped until Christmas Day, so she could watch me unwrap it and still play stupid on what it was.
I had one of those good ones. And funny story that happened with that is, as you know, with the move and the relocation going on, a lot of you guys don't know, my wife and I are currently living, a couple hours away from each other. So obviously, being the guy that I am, I left her with the newer vehicle. I've got the little box that we use to go back and forth kind of thing. And for snowfall, I went into the back to grab the snow brush, and sure enough, the good one, not there. I got one guess where it is. And so instead, I've got this little dinky pink snow brush.
And it's pink, too.
And it's pink. It is all pink. The bristles are pink. The handle is pink. It is...
Should get you like a little bedazzled strap to go around it. You can carry it around like a little Merce.
Almost. So I'm sitting out there in my driveway in the morning with my little pink snow brush clearing off my little Hyundai.
And high vis, just being the luck of the neighborhood, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't throw it into my truck, obviously, because it wouldn't reach anywhere on my truck. Like, the thing's about 1.5 feet long. Perfect. I'm tall. I can reach the roof anyways. I think that's why she took it. She's not very tall. We have a Ford Escape. The only way she's going to reach the roof. The funny part is I don't think she ever clears off her car before she drives anyways. So why she has a snow brush is beyond me.
Just in case the wipers are frozen,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Last resort.
Yeah, she uses it as a scraper, not as a snow brush. She needs one of those little hand scrapers.
No, she wouldn't be able to reach the center of the windshield then.
She could barely reach the center of the windshield now. So, no, it was a little surprise when I went out the first heavy snowfall that we got, that you needed to brush off the car, and I found that in the trunk, and I went, that'll do. So, no, those brushes you're talking about, they're awesome. I recommend them even for the guys with the trucks. For the wreckers especially, because to be able to get that roof by that light bar sometimes, like you need that extension, you need that swivel head is really nice on it.
And to be fair, any of the flat snow brushes out there that you gotta swipe, how do you not get snow all over you? Because you gotta swipe towards you. With the flat one that can swivel on the 90, you just push it all across and it falls down on the passenger side. And then when you're done, if you got to walk around to the other side, you're pushing all the snow away from you. So you have a lot less of a chance to get covered in snow to start your morning off great. Normally before your coffee, and if you smoke your morning cigarette, which that's your key thing for your mornings. They'll screw up your whole day if you ruin the morning coffee ritual.
Yeah. Pro tip for the guys in trucks too, in tow trucks, leave the snow brush in the toolbox. Because there's nothing worse than that little bit of snow right over the door crack. And if you don't clear that off before you open the door, your driver's seat ends up with more snow on it than anything else.
Now, talking about snow on vehicles, tow lights.
Oh,
magnetic tow lights.
Yeah.
I have rubber gloves that come up to about here normally, and I just go right across the trunk. Now, granted, it does look awful sometimes because you got your the grease and grime and the road salt and everything. Or what about boosting cars? I've lifted up so many hoods, and they've got the little hydraulic rams or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's so much snow on the hood, it won't stay open.
You're trying to hold it with one hand, and you got your booster pack on the other hand, trying to clip it. And
then you get that one customer, you get there for the boost in the early morning, and the whole car's cleaned.
Oh,
thank that customer.
Yes.
Thank them. Make sure to thank them. Another good thing, tell you, especially your repeat customers, say, if you are calling for a service, put your hood up. So it's a lot easier for me to pick, there's a car in the driveway with the hood up. I don't need to see the actual house address, nothing like that, because a lot of people not clearly marked. And if your house address isn't clearly marked, especially in the wintertime, get a light on that. Especially if you got to call like an ambulance or something. They can't see it. We can't see it. No one can see it. How do I know where you live?
You don't get the customers like me that, like, as I'm walking up and I see them and I wave, they're sitting there waving their arms in the air. It's over here.
I'm already driving in your driveway. You don't need to wave at me.
I love those customers. Yeah, you're pulling in the driveway. Our arms are just going. It's like, calm down. Calm down.
The
I found
only
you.
car in the parking lot, and you're already heading straight for them.
Yeah.
They get out of their car, and they keep waving until you stop and get out. It's like, oh, my God.
Then they're at your driver's door, and it's like, okay, can you give me a second here, sir? I need to, let me collect myself before I go deal with you.
I love it when I pull up to the side of the road or whatever the case may be, and I'm making sure I'm marked on location or filling out a couple of pieces of paperwork because I didn't see them standing out there immediately when I pulled up. Mm-hmm. And next thing I know, I'm looking down and I look up and they're opening my passenger door to talk to me. And especially now with not taking passengers, that passenger seat has become my office. Right. So I've got papers sitting over there. Next thing you know, they open the door and the papers go flying out. And I got upset with one guy the one day and I was like, please don't open my door. You're a stranger to me. Would you just walk up to a stranger's car and fling open their door? Yeah. Like, well, no, I guess not. And I was like, you see?
I've been back in the flatbed lately, so the big thing the flatbed guys will always tell you and they hate. You roll up on seeing the same thing, right? Like, the truck's not even in park yet. I'm doing my paperwork or something. I'm just checking something. They open up, you want it in neutral? What? Yeah, I got it. I'll put it in neutral for you. It's like, can you not? Or you're like underneath putting a hook on. You want it in neutral? No.
I had a guy today. I had to pick up his van out of his driveway, and his car was blocking the van I needed to tow in, which is great. You call for a service and it's not accessible. Whatever. Yeah,
do us a favor. Like, you call, you've had a half hour, 45-minute ETA. We show up, and you got vehicles boxed in, and or this is a good time to clear my car out. You've had time. You knew we were coming.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So anyways, I asked the guy, I was like, so what's wrong with it? And he was like, oh, this, that, and the other. I was like, oh, so it runs. And he was like, yeah. It's like, do you mind just pulling it out onto the street so I can grab it from the ass? And he was like, sure. So he moves his one car, and then he pulls the van out onto the street. And to be fair, he faced it the correct way to my tow truck, but he backed it up to the point where his passenger side wheel was damn near into the ditch, and there was a piece of garbage frozen to the ground about sticking up a foot tall right behind his van where he parked it. So then I get out and I walk to his van. I was like, keys? He hands them to me. He's like, do you want me to put it in neutral? I was like, no, get in his van, start and pull it back out and leave it more in the center of the road. And he looks at me. And then he had the little clip-on mirrors onto his mirrors.
Yeah.
I was like, do those come off? And he's like, I've never had them off. Why do you need them off? I was like, well, we're going to be going down the road 90 backwards. And he was like, oh, I see let's see what you're saying. It's like, I've done this a time or two, man.
Yeah, no, some of the customers are the best. I always just move the car for them. I'm going to pull it out a lot of times because you get that customer where it's just like, put it in reverse. Okay. And they drive forward. It's like, what are you doing?
Turn left. No, your other left.
I always tell if there's ever a situation where I'm doing that, because I've had it when you're doing a winch out of the ditch, right?
Yeah.
You got to get the customer to, I have them a lot of times sit in the car. It's not going to roll.
That's a
It's not gonna-
story. That's a topic for another episode.
Absolutely. But I always tell them, I'm going to, tell you left, right, brakes. If I say left or right, it's your left or right.
Yeah.
Don't overthink this. Look at your steering wheel and go, this is my left, this is my right, and turn whatever way I say. And they still mess it up.
Oh, 100%. I want to say 90% of the time, especially or the times where you're pulling them out and the back end's facing the ditch and it's broad daylight and you can't see if the brake lights are on. And you start pulling. It's like, fuck, this car's in there pretty good. Next thing you know, you get a halfway out and you yell, is your foot on the brake? Yeah. And you take that off, please. Oh,
no, it's true. They don't know any better. We're there to teach them. We're there to show them.
And it's an unusual situation for them. I'm hoping they're not in that situation very often, needing to be pulled out of the ditch.
We all have that customer we've seen. We had one of our guys. It was a great story. Pulled out a vehicle on a 400 highway, and he said, I don't know what it was. Pulled it out. Gets a call back 30 minutes later. 15 kilometers away. Same vehicle. Guy drove it into the ditch again on the 400 highway. You ever think, sir, maybe you shouldn't be driving on the highway? And the roads were, don't get me wrong, the roads were not clear and bare, but the roads were not. He was the only guy that did it twice. He's the only guy I've ever known in all the snowstorms I've driven in that ever did it twice.
If I do this a third time, is that one free?
Yeah. We were retelling a story. We were talking about drivers getting stuck and everything else. And a coworker of mine used to work for his own company. He called us one day at 3:00 in the morning when he worked for his own company to go pull him out of the ditch. So I got up middle of the night, went out into this country road, found him, flatbed, sitting in the ditch. I was there with my flatbed at the time. I pulled him out of the ditch. I told him at the time, I said, I'm not going to take any photos of this because one day I'm going to need your help. And I hope you can extend me the same courtesy. And good friend, great guy. So he warns me. He's going up the road to pull out his dad was in the ditch. He's going up the road to pull up his dad, and he warns me. He goes, watch out, you can't really see the ditches out here. And I said, yeah, I've driven in plenty of snowstorms. I'll be fine. Less than 100 feet up the road. While he's following me, don't I catch the ditch and sucks me in. So I buried it. He was barely in. I buried it into the ditch. No damage or anything, all soft powder snow, but we're laughing. He pulls up next to me and he's crying, laughing. And he goes, I'm going to go pull out my dad and then I'm going to come back for you. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty reasonable. He's only about 100 feet up the road. Might as well go get him. That's where we were going before I ditched it. And so, yeah, it was a lesson in karma on never think you know better than the roads. And it was also, when I told him I thought I would need his services one day, I didn't expect it to be
the same day.
5 minutes up the road. 5 minutes up the road. But getting back to the holiday times, the one nice thing about doing the towing, obviously, during the holidays is the tips. I don't know about you, but the tips over the holidays tend to be a lot more generous, right? Which is surprising because you think everyone would be pretty strapped, given, Christmas shopping and everything else. But, you tend to do that tire change or that unlock or, even roadside company calls that you do, right? Customers aren't paying for it. They tend to be pretty generous. I know a couple drivers have always loved working over the holidays for that reason. It was a little bit extra income in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, people are more in like a giving season. I know a lot of people are a couple of people did it in my town where they dropped $1,000 at the local Timmy's drive-thru. So they pay for people's orders until it's done.
Really?
Right? And I'm a big believer in that, to where most of the tips that I get, I just tip extra at different places I go because you've made my day. Let me try to help make 2 or 3 people's day.
Yeah, some pay it forward stuff. Yep. Paying
it forward and just spread more positivity throughout. And if that person can even do the same for one more person, then it's going to be a good day. And that's part of the holidays as well. And it's just passing along good vibes and holiday cheer.
Let me ask you, saying Merry Christmas or are you saying Happy Holidays?
If I'm saying it at all, I'm saying Merry Christmas. After the fact, now I say I hope you had a good holidays, or hope you had good holidays, because we've got New Year's and Christmas behind us.
I'm still saying Happy New Year because I can't remember what day of the week it is.
Happy Merry Moomeers.
Happy Merry Moomeers. Happy Merry Moo Years. So moving on from that, G, before you do get called away to get into, I know you've got a couple topics you wanted to cover today.
Yeah. A couple more in-depth topics.
Little more in-depth, not just you and I telling stories, some actual legitimate tow things.
Wow, as legitimate as towing can be, my friend.
Ooh, that's a pretty hot take, but I'll let it go.
Front axle weight ratings and axle weight ratings in general. I know you used to say, oh, your rear axle weight doesn't really matter too much on the light duty wrecker side of things. And there is a way that you're going to get away from that.
I'm going to correct you with that. Nobody take that personal. It's an Ontario law only that I think they may have amended. So I do understand that rear axle weight ratings in light duty wreckers mean something, but there was a time with a law the way there was a loophole. But continue. I just don't want anyone taking that out of context. PlainGuy says that axle ratings are useless. No, they're not.
In the States, those guys get away with a lot more than what we do up here. But anyways, up here in the good old land of maple syrup and hockey, we've got front and rear axle ratings that are pretty right down the line. So front axle weight ratings, I've got a couple of pickup truck, tow trucks, 4,500, 5,500 style trucks. And normally when you buy one of those, you can get the beefed up front suspension. So you get like an extra 1,000, 1,500 pounds of weight capacity on the front, mainly for putting like a snowplow or whatnot on it. Most tow trucks that we are getting, once you get out of like the 3,500s, come with that beefed up front suspension. Now, if any of you out there have driven one of these trucks, you'll know because they sit almost damn near fucking level, even with your leaf springs in the back. And so as soon as you put something on, your nose is jacked up sky high and you look like a pile going down the road, even though you could be well within your weight ratings. And it rides like a lumber wagon. Just rough as all get out. But if you don't get that upgraded front suspension, you ride a lot smoother. And to be honest with you, in most wreckers, you are never putting any weight on that front axle. Ever. You're always taking it off. So what's the point of having a beefed up front suspension on a pickup truck chassis style of wrecker? Flatbeds, on the other hand, and this is where the actual main part of this topic is, we've got two damn near identical trucks. One's got a steel bed, one's got an aluminum bed. The aluminum bed truck has a 10,000 pound front axle weight rating. The steel bed has got an 8,000 pound front axle weight rating. The 10,000 pound truck rides like shit. I'm just putting it out there. For a Freightliner, rides like absolute garbage. Like it'll jiggle the piss right out of you throughout the day. The 8,000 pound front axle rides beautifully. As good as a massively long flatbed can ride. It rides nice. Like feels like a go-kart. Steers wonderful. Problem is, we've got about, I want to say, just to be on the safe side, 1,000 pounds of clearance on that front axle. Called 1,000 pounds, just for simplicity's sake. So you can put an extra 1,000 pounds on that front axle. It's a 22-foot long bed. How much weight transfer are you getting when you put something right up to that headache rack? Now, if you double and you put something on your wheel lift, you never have to worry about that front axle weight, just because now you've pretty much just made your rear axle a teeter-totter. Now, I know I see a lot of guys going down the road with that car perfectly straddled that rear axle. And that's fine. You're going to be under your weight normally. But once you get into some heavier duty cars and trucks, or depending on what your rear axle is even rated for, you're going to want to put that thing closer and closer to the front. Also, to help keep more braking force on your front tires as well. Bring more weight to the front. Makes your truck ride nicer. I'm not sure if you've ever done it, anyone out there listening, having a car closer to the rear of your bed compared to closer to the front. The closer you have that weight to the front of that bed, the nicer your truck is going to ride. So if you've got something nosed right up to your headache rack and you only have 700 pounds, 1,000 pounds on your front axle, you're going to start overweighing that front axle big time. Now they're selling these trucks like that. They roll off the lot. call it 1,000 pounds. You put your gear in your tunnel boxes or your toolboxes. You put a scanner, whatever. You put aftermarket door speakers in your truck. You throw yourself in there, and maybe your girlfriend, wife, passenger in the passenger seat. How much weight do you have left for cargo? How is that weight transfer really going to affect that axle weight rating? I feel like quite a bit. And if someone's actually out there trying to get you, which, we have law enforcement for that, there's a lot of guys out there that can get fucked, even though the truck looks perfectly fine, but it's overweight on the front axle.
So then, but you don't like the idea of beefing up the front axle and going with the heavier front axle. That's just poor specking of a truck. I know it rides like shit, but I mean, if your clearance is going to be in, if your truck can't handle more than a car on the bed because of your front axle limits, what good is it?
I know what good is it, but they're selling these trucks. Now, we've done a little bit more research after realizing this, and a lot of these trucks in this spec, and it's also really dependent on the motor that you get. They will sell an extended cab Freightliner with an 8,000 pound front axle with an L9 under the hood. Just rolling off the lot, you're bang on your money for 8,000 pounds. Why are they selling it if it's over the legal limit rolling off the lot?
Why are we buying it is the question.
Why are people buying it? Because obviously they're making the truck and people are buying it. Now, I'm not sure if they just don't really care about the front axle quite as much, or they just try to overweigh the back end of the bed, kind of like how you see those guys with the car trailers loading the truck on backwards to save the weight on their actual pickup truck towing the trailer. I did that when I was in high school. That was sketchy as hell.
I don't really know, and I don't want to give out bad information. So what I want to do is I want to look into it, and I definitely want to come back to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to come here and sit and, I have a feeling that I know some people, that'll have the answers to these questions.
Yep.
Because it is true. If it's a common thing that they're selling these trucks, there is a reason for it. Whether it be, I don't know. I don't know if guys are running doubles more often, you would do it. I don't know what the reasoning is. I don't even want to specify what, randomly guess what the reason would be. But that is definitely something that I want to look into and we will get back to. If you guys know out there, hey,
please let us know. You can call us now.
Please let us know. Yeah, you can call us. You can call us and say, hey, TowManG, you don't know shit about front axle ratings. This is why.
Maybe I don't. I'm just going off of what I've been told from people that I trust and looking at trucks in person.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it is something that I definitely want to look into more, but I don't have the answers for it, and I don't want to put an opinion out on the internet that is completely wrong because it's on the internet and it's out there forever. I'm a man of strong opinions, but most of my opinions are right. So if you have dealt with that and you do have the answer for us, feel free to give us a call. 249-666-2209. We will be sure to play it out on the air. We will get back to you on it, on why it is wrong, why it is right, and why TowManG messed it all up.
Yeah. Or maybe I got bang on. And if so, please let me know so I, feel
So
a little bit better about myself.
Yeah. Please let him know so his ego can go through the roof. We would greatly appreciate it. Speaking of ego, G, when are you hosting your show with your co-host, your new co-host?
The winter season has gotten the better of most of us, and with me being sick, it's I really gotta start planning out, getting things coordinated. We got to get ahead ourselves first before we start thinking about doing something like that. It is in the works. It is planned. We just got to get ahead and get everything situated. We've got a couple of big things coming up shortly here within the next couple of months. I would like to get it done before our big thing comes in a couple of months' time. But like I said, I just got to get all the ducks in a row, and towers' schedules very rarely line up.
That is true. How hard it is to get two towers together. You are right. We do got to get ahead. As you guys realize, we are recording this on a Sunday. The show goes out on a Tuesday. Winter in Canada and Eastern Ontario and Central Ontario and Western Ontario, wherever the hell you're at in Ontario. Obviously, business gets a lot busier. It's harder to find the time to do these shows. We've been dedicated to doing the once a week show. So yeah, bear with us. Sometimes things come up, accidents happen, stuff goes on. So we will continue doing our best to bring you shows every week.
I would just like to thank everyone who's listening for staying with us into this new year. I really do hope that we can entertain you for this new year, 2022. I hope it's a good year. I hope everyone stays safe. I hope that everyone from last year who's listened to us can still be here this year listening to us as well. It means a lot to us for all the returning viewers and all the new viewers and listeners out there. I know myself, I never did think we were going to get this far, this fast. Kind of blew my mind a little bit of, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
There's how many people listening to me on the internet now?
You had your doubts, but that's what we're here for. But it almost sounds like you're saying goodbye, and I am nowhere near done with the people yet, G.
No, I'm not. No, I was just trying to put in a little bit of time filler,
Oh, we're not that kind of show, all right? We don't put the fluff, we put the real stuff, and we go from there. So, with the new year coming, late into December in Ontario, the OPP launched a 401 tow pilot tow zone project, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people are mistaking that with the new OPP program that is coming out. So if you are one of those people, they are two different things. There is a pilot project going on for exclusive style towing like Montreal has on certain 400 highways in the GTA area. There is also a new approved tow list for OPP on across the province. So they are two separate programs. I seen on some social media today, there's a couple guys getting them confused. What we want to talk about today is that pilot tow project. So for any of you listening from the States or anywhere outside of Ontario, most of the guys in Ontario will know what we're talking about. What it is the province, because of, I'm going to call it piss poor towing tactics in the province of Ontario, and especially in the GTA area, have brought out a project that makes towing zones exclusive to certain companies within those zones. With that comes a cap on rates, on what you can charge, and there is breakdown charges, there is hourly for MVCs, everything is capped, but it is, zone 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it is, and within those zones there's regions, and only a specific company can hook you up on those accidents or those breakdowns. It's affected companies like CAA. I got no problem saying their name. They have put out memos to their members that if you are in a safe location and the police will allow it, they will still allow these roadside trucks to come get them, but they are not guaranteeing it is a thing. So some of these customers are being towed off the highway, and then they can arrange the tow of their choice. They have to pay the bill. They can submit it through the roadside and everything else.
It might not always be accepted either. I put that out there.
It might not be accepted, meaning the roadside may not cover it.
I know they've not covered bills in the past. I'm not sure if they are sticking true to they're going to cover everything coming off the highway for these pilot projects. I haven't physically read.
I think they'd be wild not to. I think they would have, it is one thing if you choose not to wait for a CAA truck and you grab the first truck that you see, because it opens up for, like we talked about a couple weeks ago with the guy doing the fraudulent calls. It opens themselves up. Was the tow call actually done? Was it not them just putting it through a bill and submitting it off to their roadside? But I imagine with a tow pilot project like this, if they don't accept a bill from a zoned company at capped rates, the roadsides could be getting themselves in quite the mess and dissatisfied customers with that one.
I would like to see something like that. I know I'm cutting you off from your spiel here a little bit. I would like, if you are a CAA member and you are in one of these tow zones, let that company who just towed you off the highway get your card number and let them deal with CAA themselves like an insurance company. Because these people who sometimes break down on the side of the road have no extra funds. They can't afford a $500 tow bill. I know a lot of people don't carry credit cards to begin with, and maybe they don't have enough money on their debit card. So what happens if you get towed off the highway from this truck that you kind of sort of had to go with out of this tow zone, and you can't afford to pay for that tow? What happens? That I honestly don't know.
What happens when you call a tow truck and you can't pay for the services? It goes to the yard.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now that if I was up in any of these regions, and I don't know what the policies are for it, but if a customer handed me a roadside card and said, here, you call them to get paid, I'm giving them their card right back and going, not a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
I know. I would like to see it go like that, because especially around the holidays, right? Just having that extra, you pay your money for a membership and you don't think about it. You think about it
Why?
once a year.
These roadsides are undercutting our rates. Why would you want to provide them the chance to now not only deal with contracted companies, but undercut the rest of the industry that they have?
I'm not saying undercut the industry. That's the rate that they have to pay, right? This is the bill. You have to pay the bill. Just leave the member themselves out of it, right?
Yeah, a roadside company is not paying those. We have a hard time collecting off certain roadsides. There's a lot of roadsides that are great for payment, but you know, I see what you're trying to say. I don't ever believe it's realistic. Yeah, here's my roadside. You charge them your retail rates directly. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think it works that way.
To be honest with you, if this program is going to succeed, I think it's going to have to do something like that, because a lot of people who are in these unfortunate situations breaking down on the highway are getting upset.
Good. They're going to get upset. They're going to cancel the roadside, and they'll start paying the industry what it's actually worth. I think it's a great thing. Anytime that something like this major, especially when it's imposed by the government, so we can sit back and go, haha, it wasn't us, is great, because it is, you're right, it is going to piss off these people that have these memberships. They are going to, what is the point? If they are somebody that travels, you know, this exclusive highway, you know, section of highway every day, and now anytime they have a breakdown, they're not guaranteed to be covering anyways, they're more likely to cancel their membership anyways. What that'll do is it'll cause a decline in memberships. Now, that is going to have a ripple effect, because these roadsides will come back and say that now we can't increase your rates because our membership numbers have dropped. But if it puts enough of a dent in them, maybe all these people are still going to break down. The difference is now is they are going to be paying the retail rates. They're going to be paying the value of the service they should be paying. And now that the rates are capped by the government, which they are, there is no longer a risk, much of a risk, to being gouged. So the industry,
are the rates capped though?
The rates are capped on the
in the tow zone area.
Yes.
It is.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. But I'm talking about the people that break down in that area. They can't get, and I want to get to that, right? We're going to get to that too, that we have seen the bills coming out of these tow zone areas. You and I discussed one right before the show. We won't mention the company that was on it. And I get a kick out of this, because anywhere you find on social media, it is all these companies who are pissed off because they are not part of this tow zone project, because they didn't have the, you know, the amount of equipment required, or the ability to maybe fill out the paperwork that they need to fill out. God knows what it is. Whatever it is, they are not part of this program. But they love to tear this program apart. And they love to post bills. Oh, this guy charged $250 an hour to pull that car off the highway. What a crook. You would do the exact same thing. You have done the exact same thing. You are not, because you're also the guy that would go, who pulls cars off the highway for $50 for roadside companies? So any of you companies that are listening are posting that up and looking for an excuse to, you know, shit on this tow zone project. Is it the best solution? I don't know. But it is here, and we caused it. The industry caused it. I didn't cause it. Gee, I know you didn't cause it. And there's plenty of guys that sat on off-ramps of the 400 highways that probably didn't cause it either. But it's the reality of what it is. And if the government came into you and said, if you park on the side of the 401 and you're the first truck to show up, you can charge whatever you want. Oh, wait, they did. It was called first available, and you charge through the roof. So don't criticize guys that are charging the government-approved rates at this point. Shut up, go home. You're making a fool of yourself.
I like the fact that they finally did something. There was an issue. There was a problem. I'm fine with admitting that. Do I think this is the answer? It is a pilot project. That's all this is. This isn't set in stone. That's what a pilot is. That's what a lot of people are overlooking as well. And yes, if you don't like it, it's within your right to raise your questions and concerns to the appropriate people.
Yes.
Facebook group posts don't really get anywhere.
Yeah. 7 posts in the same group every day from the same person complaining about, oh, they're overcharging people. Doesn't do anything. Talk to your MPs.
Yeah. Now, do I personally think this is the correct way to do things? Not really. Because what you're seeing is within these tow zones themselves, they have companies that are contracted to pick things up. Great, fine, whatever. Wait times. Now, this is becoming a big thing, is they just can't get the truck to the car in a safe, timely fashion. I heard a story that a blocker truck was smoked on the side of the road while waiting for a tow truck to show up to pick up a disabled vehicle. I don't know the full details on it, but you didn't see too much of that before this pilot project came out. I'm sure it happened. You just didn't see it as often.
As often, it's been one.
I know, but it's,
but I get what you're saying.
I can't remember the last time I ever saw one, right? In that circumstance, there's always been a tow truck there, so you can't blame it on waiting for a tow. Now,
it was normally waiting for the police.
yeah. So now we're no longer the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like putting a cap on the rates is a good thing. I feel like doing a background check of who can and cannot pick up off the highway is a good thing.
And that is what the actual new OPP province-wide project is.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea of where, okay, I want a tow on the highway. Let me go to the highway authority or the police or whatever and say, this is my paperwork. This is who drives for me. Feel free to take a look at my background check. Make sure you know that I'm not a complete piece of shit. Come take a look at my facilities if I'm going to be doing impounds and stuff for you. Make sure I have all the appropriate stuff. And then you get a license plate and an ID badge. Your drivers get an ID badge, and if you show up there and you cannot provide that ID badge or whatever type of documents that is needed to legally be there and tow off the highway, then guess what? The next guy. Right?
But here's I'm gonna interject here and argue with you. We've talked before about our hiring pool is already small. I'm hearing stories of, and if you've been involved in this, let us know, of guys being refused for the OPP province-wide towing program, we'll call it, where you need to be approved in the background check, for like breach of recognizance 12 years ago. Like the minor of, you and I have both worked for companies with towing with police contracts. We've had employees that had a criminal record from back in the past, and as long as they could pass the screening and go through and the company would vouch for them, there was a certain tolerance. By the sounds of it with this OPP program, I think it's because it's rushed, there is no tolerance. I mean, so, not only can we not insure guys if they don't have 3 years experience now in a tow truck, and now you can't do any sort of police work and I don't know if the company, that's where I'd be curious. I don't know if the company loses its total right or if it's just that operator cannot attend.
That operator, I know, for regional police.
For regional police, yeah. See, I don't know how the OPP one will work if it is just that operator cannot do, let's say, OPP calls, but the company is still approved to. So it's, as long as you said, the ID badge would be the point there. But yeah, it's just it's making it tougher and tougher. There's got to be a limit. Let's be honest. Towing is not the most desired industry to go into. We tend to attract some of the more undesirables, and some of the more undesirables are the best goddamn operators I've ever met in my life.
100%. Down on your luck, this industry can really pick you up and get you back onto your feet because it's a very fluid industry. It's very, you got a tow truck, you can pretty much go wherever within these boundaries. It's very flexible. Yeah. And not flexible in the same time, but I'm sure anyone in the industry knows what I mean.
Yeah. But so as long as it's not limiting us, it's that fine line to walk, because obviously I want the customer to feel safe with who they're getting as a tow, and I want the police to feel confident and bring a certain level of professionalism to the industry. But at the same time, there's that fine line to walk with it.
I think they set the barriers up a little bit too high and only let certain companies come in. Right, but you needed to be a big company to take on these big zones.
Oh, for the tow pilot, yes.
For the tow pilot, yeah, that's what we're talking about, really.
Yeah.
But they need to. I've heard people being able to subcontract that out, which is
that's a little iffy. I've been wondering about that.
I don't really want to dive too in depth, but that just kind of seems like if, let's say,
counterintuitive to the whole goddamn problem we're facing.
Let's say I had a tow company and I want to see the world burn, but I've got the equipment to get that contract in the first place for, let's say, zone 1. I don't know what zone 1 is, but zone 1. And then I want to hire and subcontract all these guys to now do zone 1
that couldn't get the contract on their own.
Fight over it. Have at it, boys.
Yeah.
And just let them go right?
And take my 7 or 15% admin fee on their bills.
Yeah, right?
Sounds
Doesn't
right.
seem right to me. And I'm not saying that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's a potential as soon as
I've
you're
been hearing
subcontract.
about subcontracting too. I've been curious to it and what's going on. It's something we'll have to look into it. If you are, hey, and I know you guys in the GTA are listening.
Yeah.
And if you're still listening and I haven't offended you yet, and you actually have some insight onto this, you guys have done it before. You've heard something on the show. You've reached out and messaged us and let us know. I ask for the same thing here. I ask that you call us. If you don't want it to play on the show, don't. Just say, don't want this aired. We won't air the actual audio. We'll just, do a briefing.
We'll do a transcript of it, and one of us will read it out.
Yeah. Or send us a message, right? On the Facebook page, through the website, through the email. You guys have got it all. You'll see it on the page. If you're not on YouTube, guys, if you're not watching on YouTube, you can watch it on YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces while we discuss these terrible topics, and all your information is up on the screen at the same time. So
yeah, you can comment down below down there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Like, subscribe, all that kind of. I don't even know what it means. G covers the YouTube, guys. I don't know what it means. I just know he keeps telling me say like and subscribe, so I keep saying like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how much of a dumbass I am down below in the comments. It's all welcomed.
Give me a thumbs up. Give me a hey, how are you? I don't know.
If you don't like the video, there's a downvote button down there too.
How come they can't poke us anymore on Facebook? Remember when you could poke people on Facebook?
You're dating yourself, man.
I'm not that old. But we used to be able to poke people.
Yeah, I used to have poke wars in school with people.
Poke wars.
Yeah, you just poke each other back and forth.
Yeah, never say a goddamn word to the person. Just poke each other back and forth.
No, it was fucking weird.
You can find us on MySpace too, guys.
The TowManG song will play in the background as soon as you get on there.
I want a MySpace page. Is MySpace, like, I know it's a dead thing, but it's actually like closed. Like, we can't go make a MySpace page?
I don't think so.
I'm going to look right now.
Oh, God.
While I'm doing that, G, why don't you take us out from this wonderful show that we've been having, because we have definitely gotten off topic.
So thank you guys for watching, but please remember you can call us at 249-666-2209. Any comments, questions, concerns. You can also email us at thetowinglife@gmail.com or by searching at the Towing Life Podcast on Facebook, or visit the website at www.towinglife.ca. I know there are a couple different little things in there, but we'll figure it out.
Holy crap, MySpace.com is still a thing.
MySpace.com still a thing. And on that bombshell, guys, that's the episode. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night.
See ya.